seen the Ronda Rousey fight, right? Everybody here? Seen the Ronda Rousey fight? Okay, well, you know, Ronda Rousey's really well known for her arm bars, okay? And the way she does her arm bars sometimes contradicts what we teach you guys. Like, she likes to cross her feet, okay? So as beginners, we always tell you guys, don't cross your feet. The reason is because you have to understand when, where, and what you're trying to do when you do cross your feet, okay? So crossing your feet is not necessarily bad. It's just when you don't do it the proper way that can cause problems, okay? So I want to discuss that a little bit so you guys have a really good grasp on when and where to cross your feet, okay? So we have, so let's say here okay, we're here. Okay, a lot of times when we do arm bars, you guys will hear, don't cross your feet. You guys will hear, don't cross your feet, don't cross your feet. If I have both of his arms trapped within my guard, this is real similar to how Ronda caught Liz Carmouche, okay? So she had her here, had her arms all bundled up, and she crossed her feet. Okay, notice which foot is crossed under which, right? The one under his head, that's on his head, is the one under, okay? That's very important, okay? The reason why we tell you guys not to cross the feet is because when you cross your feet, your legs become all one unit, okay? So like if I didn't have his arm in here, and I try to cross my feet, whether I had it the right way or not, my legs are now all connected in one. So when he pushes, like say my leg off his head, they move together, okay? So if I didn't have his arm trapped in the middle, it would be a big mistake for me to cross my feet here. Okay, I would like better to keep my legs individual. Try to push my legs off your head now. You see, only one of my legs is going. Right, keep trying hard. Right, okay. And my feet move independent, and I can catch them in some other things, okay? So if I have his arms bundled in, both together, okay, this happens a lot, and they go for arm locks on the top, you can cross your feet, but you gotta keep the one that's closest to his head under. Why? Because it keeps pressure on his head. If I go the other way, there's no pressure on his head. That's gonna allow him to sit up, right, and stack me up while I finish. Right, pull his arm out, and then next thing you know, I'm on the bottom. Right, next thing you know, I'm on the bottom of having a bad day. All right, back. So now, I cross him the right way. Try that same thing. Even if he gets up, come on. Turn this way closer to him. And if he gets up, get your arm up. He's going to have a hard time getting away here. Okay? So I need to keep pressure on the head. Now that being said, too, if I have him in my guard and I go for the arm lock from my guard, okay, you'll also see people crossing their feet here. Okay, another thing you guys don't understand too is these people are fighting MMA. They got cups on, or in the case of Ronda Rousey, she don't, doesn't have what we have. All right. So that's a concern though in real life. All right. If I got my legs out wide, I'm not squeezing my knees, which prevents me from hurting my groin. His elbow's right on my groin. All right. It's gonna hurt. Okay. I have to be able. It's a risk-reward kind of thing. Okay. I'm gonna break his arm, but I also might break my nuts. Okay. So the thing is though here, you got to keep the pressure on his head. Okay, if you cross your feet, you don't put pressure on his head. Again, he's going to stack you up. He's going to yank his arm up. Okay, so when you cross your feet here, you got to make sure you're keeping pressure against the side of his head. Now try to stack me up. You see, it's going to be hard. But the problem is though, I'm not squeezing my knees together so he can yank his arm out easier. All right. So you have to make sure that you have a real good bite out on their arm, good control on their wrist so they can't pull their arm out, right? Okay, keeping pressure on their head, that way they can't stack you up, anything like that. Okay, so there's a little overview on what the deal is with the legs cross and not cross. All right, guys, understand what I'm getting at? Okay, so it's better, especially as you guys are, when you guys are white belts and stuff, not to cross your feet. Because there's just too many mistakes you can make that can cost you a match or cost you a fight cost you a self-defense situation, could cost you big time, all right? So it's better not to cross your feet, but if you're gonna do it, understand what you're doing, okay? How you're doing it, okay? So let's work on